meet the donor's family. This vice principal, retired vice principal from school, died due to a brain hemorrhage, but ended up giving not just her hands, but a heart, her kidney, 3 other organs as well, now living with so many more people.
जब उनका ब्रेन डेड हुआ और जब हमसे हैंड्स के लिए बोला गया, तो इनको एक ही बात यही लग रही थी कि मेरे को अब राखी कौन बांधेगा। लेकिन जब उनको हैंड्स के लिए बोला गया तो हम सब ने यही बोला कि देखो उनके हैंड्स रहेंगे, आप अलाउ कर दो उनको।
Alright, the Oscar fever is on. Billie Eilish gets the best song. Cillian Murphy wins Best Actor for Oppenheimer. And Best Actress goes to Emma Stone for Poor Things. Surprisingly, Barbie didn't win big at the Oscars at all. The Afghan connection for this Mumbai church, which is now getting its lost glory. 14 crore facelift for this church. What exactly has changed? The beautiful history behind it coming up on the program. Also joining us on the show is Bomi on doing stories that spark conversation. And the picture that has taken the internet by storm, the picture in question released on Sunday morning to celebrate Mother's Day, shows Kate Middleton sitting with her 3 kids. But what's wrong with that picture? The picture is one where she's holding her kids, but now major agencies, including the Associated Press, has withdrawn that picture, saying that there seems to be a bit of photoshopping and the picture is just not right. All right, let's start this Monday morning with the story of hope. And it has a bit of a bitter start, but we'll get to that. This is a story of 2 individuals. Let's start with Rajkumar first. 45-year-old Rajkumar met with an accident in October 2020 when he was crossing the railway tracks near his house on his bicycle. He was run over by the train and he lost both his hands over there. Became dependent on others for his day-to-day activities. He was a painter by profession. Needed his hands, no? But he lost all hope until the March of this year, March of 2024. A miraculous surgery, one that lasted 12 hours, and the doctors of Gangaram Hospital performed a successful, what is now called a bilateral hand transplant, and gave him both his hands back, as you can see on your screen. Yes, hand transplant, and we were as stunned as you were. The surgery involved connecting every artery, every muscle, every tender and nerve between the recipient's arm and the donor's hands. But it was done miraculously. It is indeed fantastic work by the doctors, and we will meet them on the program shortly from now. But it is not just a scientific discovery that would have, or a marvel that would have made this possible. The hero in the story is the donor. The only way the doctors could have performed the surgery is they had a matching donor. And on that note, it's time to meet the hero, Meena Mehta. 62-year-old Meena was a retired vice principal from Delhi's Greenfield School. An unfortunate brain hemorrhage meant that she was declared brain dead and there was no chance of a survival or chance of leading a normal life. But Meena had pledged all her organs to be used after her death. Not only her hands now, as we know, have changed this painter's life for the better, but her organs changed the life of 3 more individuals. Kidney, liver, cornea, all have gone to 3 other patients, all of whom continue to lead a beautiful life. What a marvelous way to die or to go, right? By giving so many others around you a beautiful reason to live. Now, that story is a story of hope, and that certainly brightened up our day. So we had to speak to all the stakeholders like we always do. Joining us now on the program is Rajkumar, the painter, the recipient of these hands, who now gets to lead a really nice life. We hope so. He's still in recovery. Rajkumar ji, namaskar. हमसे बात करने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
धन्यवाद।
राजकुमार जी, मैं देख पा रही हूँ कि आपके हाथ में अभी सर्जरी के बाद काफी अभी टाइम लगेगा ठीक होने में, पर हमने वो वीडियो देखा कि कैसे आप अपने हाथ हिला पा रहे थे, मूव कर पा रहे थे. आई विल रिक्वेस्ट माय प्रोड्यूसर्स टू प्ले द वीडियो वेयर यू कैन एक्चुअली सी हिम यूजिंग हिज हैंड्स एंड हाउ लाइफ has gone for the better for him. But राजकुमार जी, अभी जब हाथ वापस लग गए, मैं पहले जानना चाहती हूँ कि अभी पेंट ब्रश उठाने का मन कर रहा है फिर से?
अभी नहीं मैडम, आगे चल के उठा सकते हैं। आगे चल
पूरी
के उठा
उम्मीद है कि
सकते
आगे
हैं।
चल के उठा सकते हैं।
हाँ जी।
कभी सोचा था कि किसी और के हाथ ऐसे इस्तेमाल में आएंगे आपके, और कैसे आपकी लाइफ अभी बदलने वाली है?
ना ना, हमने तो अपना जीवन खो दिया था, बाकी हम सोच भी नहीं सकते थे, कि ये हमारा हाथ नया लग जाएगा, चमत्कार हो जाएगा। ऐसा तो हम सोच भी नहीं सकते। गंगाराम, मैं बड़ा धन्यवाद करता हूँ उन लोगों को, डॉक्टरों को।
और मीना जी, जिनके हाथ लगे, जो मैच हो पाए. We seem to have got a glitch on his audio. While we fix that line with him, let me also cut across. Let's cut across to the doctors as well. Joining us now is Dr. Mahesh Bangal. He is the chairperson of the Department of Plastic and Cosmetic Surgery at Gangaram Hospital. Joining us is also his colleague who's been helping him, and the whole team of doctors who actually helped make this entire miracle happen. Dr. Mahesh, welcome to the program. Thanks so much and congratulations. That's my first instinct. What a beautiful way to have given somebody a life back. Somebody to go back on, they say go back on their feet, but go back and paint, do beautiful things with their hands. And what a beautiful way to actually say goodbye to one life, to actually make use of it. So, you know, my first question is, of course, this is a huge, great effort by your team. I'm told the surgery lasted for about 12 hours and it's not an easy one. Tell us the entire process. How long did it take to actually make it happen, and how common is really hand transplant in India?
Good morning, ma'am. And hand transplant is not very common in India. It has been started, first hand transplant has been done in Cochin in Amrita Hospital. And later on, nowadays only 2-3 centers are mainly doing a hand transplant. But in North India, this is the first center which we did a bilateral hand transplant. What happened is that for doing any transplant, we have to take permission from the government. We have taken permission from the Delhi government. And we have few patients in our list who wanting or whose life can be improved by hand transplant. But the problem which we were facing is to finding a suitable donor. For finding a suitable donor is a very difficult problem, because people are willing to donate other organs like kidney, liver, heart, but even people are not knowing that hand can be transplanted. So they are not aware about this process. So they are not even know that hand can be donated or it can be used for another person to change their life. So that is the main issue with us, that how or from where we find a suitable donor, because donor has to be matched along with their blood group and other tissue matching. So we find few donors, but according to their matching, it was not possible for Rajkumar. So finally, what happened is that in our hospital, our own hospital, we find a donor, Mrs. Mehta. As you already explained about Mrs. Mehta. So as soon as we were informed that there is one patient in our ICU which is brain dead and they want to donate their hands, so we called the Rajkumar and we admitted him, and tissue matching was done and everything was perfect. So we planned the operation. Wow. And we have a big team basically. We have a big team. myself, Dr. Gambhir, Dr. Anubhav Gupta, Dr. Bhim Nanda, Dr. Nikhil Junjunwala, and there are many other junior doctors and anesthetists, orthopedician, Dr. Brajesh Nanda. We have a whole team of, because
and
these
Dr. Nikhil is
operations has
sitting
to be
right there
planned
as well. I know.
beforehand.
Right. And I know Dr. Nikhil also played a
my,
crucial and a critical
yeah.
role in making this happen. Dr. Nikhil, tell us a little bit about hand transplants. And this could apply, I'm assuming, to legs as well, to other sort of organs in the body. So a lot of us know about eye donation, a lot of us know about other internal organs. But like Dr. Mahesh was rightly pointing out, there is still a bit of taboo involving limbs. Right, because when you say your goodbye, when you cremate body or when you bury the body, those parts are then missing. And I understand it's difficult for families to take that call and actually make it happen. Also, interestingly, while we were speaking earlier, you pointed out that when hands are actually, it's a critical moment when the hands have to be taken from the donor. Explain to us what exactly happens.
Good morning, everyone. See, what happens is when you take an external organ, because of our religious beliefs and all, the donors don't really have an attitude to do hand donation, because in our Hindu religion, everybody wants to cremate the body with external organs intact. You can open the abdomen, you can take all the internal organs, but they don't want to donate the external organs. This is what happened to us for the last 1 year. But Mrs. Mehta was like quite willing, and she was very supportive to, and the family was very supportive to donate all her organ. And hand transplant, I will say about hand transplant, India is going to be a leader in the world in hand transplant, because it's already been going on in South India, and this was the first case in Delhi. And we have got so many calls from other patients who have lost their hand to get their hand transplanted. So we want to make awareness about in the general public to make more and more donation of hand, so that everybody who has lost their hand can get a hand and get a new life, so that they can support their family.
That's right. You're absolutely right. We have the tech, we have the infrastructure required to do it, we have the doctors trained to do it and do it successfully. All we need is proactive donation, and all we need is awareness to be driven home that people can actually do this and change lives. I'm told we have Rajkumar back with us. Rajkumar ji, मेरी आवाज इस समय आ पा रही है आपको?
हाँ जी
जी राजकुमार जी, अभी आपके हाथ वापस आ गए, डॉक्टर्स ने इतना बढ़िया काम किया. अभी आप अगर मीना जी की फैमिली जिनके हाथ आपको मिले फाइनली, उनसे कुछ कह सकते तो क्या कहते?
उनका मैं धन्यवाद करता हूँ जो हमारा नया जीवन दान दिया है, उनसे मैं बहुत खुश हूँ.
जी, और अभी हाथ आपने जब करा, कितना टाइम लगेगा रिकवरी में? कब तक आपको डॉक्टर्स बता रहे हैं कि आप वापस जा सकते हैं? आप पेंटिंग करते थे पहले, वापस पेंटिंग कर सकते हैं?
और 6 महीना बता रहे थे.
जी जी
हाँ 6 महीना लगा.
All right. Can I go back to Dr. Mahesh on that note? Dr. Mahesh, will life go back to normal and usual for Rajkumar, or are there some things that, there are limitations to this?
Actually, what happened that in hand transplant, it is not like a kidney and liver. Once you attach the kidney and liver, they start functioning basically. If you do a kidney transplant, they start filtering the urine immediately basically. Particularly in hand, it is not like this. In hand, what happened that it all depend on regeneration of our nerve. And because of the nerve, because they give current to the muscles, and then they work, and then our hand work basically. So what happened is when we join the nerve, it grows very gradually, and very there is a speed of growing of a nerve. A nerve grow 1 millimeter per day. So when we join the nerve at a one place, say in this case we have joined the nerve above the elbow, so it takes minimum 6 to 8 months to reach to the muscles so that he can move his fingers. So I think it will take 6 to 8 months to move his fingers, and nearly maybe another 6 to 8 months to do a fine movements of the fingers. So I think 1 to 1.5 year will be the time that he will do a reasonably good function by the hand. But 100% function is not possible, particularly in these replants. Maybe he will be able to do a 70 to 80% of the functions. So I think it's a good reasonable function so that person can enjoy or can earn his life. So that is what happened in a hand transplant cases.
Nice. I also like how a woman's hand has gone to a man, but it made no difference. It's just about attaching. It's so beautiful. This entire story really is. But on that note, let me also bring in, like I keep saying, the hero of this story, which is Meena Mehta. She's not with us today, but her life truly deserves to be celebrated. And joining us next is his nephew. Her nephew, beg your pardon, Javed Mehta is with us on the program along with his wife. Namaskar, Javed ji. Thank you so much for speaking with us here on the Breakfast Club. Before you sort of came in, I was just telling everybody, मैं सबको बता रही थी कि क्या beautiful तरीका है एक जिंदगी को गुड बाय बोलने का, दूसरों को जिंदगी देते हुए. आपकी बुआ जी ने पहले ही आपने मुझे बताया कि कैसे प्लेज करे थे अपने सारे पार्ट्स, पर हमें एक बार ज़रा लेकर जाइए कि उनको हुआ क्या, कब ये डिसीजन लिया गया और किस समय उन्होंने डिसाइड करा कि अपने सारे ऑर्गन्स वो प्लेज करेंगी.
उनको ब्रेन हेमरेज हो गया था. जब हमें पता लगा कि उनको ब्रेन हेमरेज हुआ तो हमने गंगा रामन को एडमिट कराया. तो 2 से 3 दिन बाद डॉक्टर ने कहा कि इनकी रिकवरी मुश्किल है और ये ब्रेन डेड हो रहा है, और उन्होंने फिर ब्रेन डेड की हमारे को बताया कि इनका ब्रेन डेड हो चुका, अभी रिकवरी पॉसिबल नहीं है. तब हम लोगों को हुआ कि ऑर्गन डोनेट कर देने चाहिए, यदि ऑर्गन डोनेट हो सकते हैं तो वहां पे गंगाराम में हमने बात की तो उन्होंने कहा ये पॉसिबल है और हम लोग करते हैं. तो हमने फिर उनको बोला कि हमने ऑर्गन जो है डोनेट करने हैं, क्योंकि उनकी इच्छा थी. कई बार जैसे हम आपस में बात करते थे तो उन्होंने कई बार इच्छा जाहिर की थी कि मेरे ऑर्गन्स जो है डोनेट कर देना, किसी के काम आ जाएंगे. तो फिर वहां पे हमने जब बात की तो उन्होंने कहा ठीक है. तो उन्होंने ऑर्गन्स का हमारे को बोला तो हमने भी हाँ भर दी कि हाँ ऑर्गन्स डोनेट करने हैं. लेकिन हमें ये नहीं पता था कि यहाँ पे अब जो है हैंड्स भी ट्रांसप्लांट हो सकते हैं. ये जब उन्होंने बोला तो थोड़ा सा हमारे लिए थोड़ा शॉकिंग था, क्योंकि हैंड्स जो हैं वो विजिबल होते हैं और ना वो देखते हुए थोड़ा सा डिसीजन हार्ड था. एक बार हमें भी लगा कि भाई हैंड्स को हम मना कर दें, लेकिन फिर हमें लगा कि नहीं, किसी के काम आ सकती है, उस चीज को काम आ जाना चाहिए. तो फिर हमने हैंड्स के लिए भी हाँ भर दी और डिसीजन अच्छा रहा. एक फैमिली की जान बच गई. जो थे वो हैंडीकैप थे, उनको अब्यूज में आ रहे हैं. हमें उस दिन उनसे मिलकर भी बड़ा अच्छा लगा.
जी, मैं ये पूछते जा रही थी आपसे कि आप उनसे मिले होंगे. आपने बताया कि आपकी बुआ जी थी, बट वो आपको राखी भी बांधती थी और आपको एक समय पे लगा कि आपने वो हाथ खो दिए, बट अब फाइनली आप उनसे मिलकर कैसा लगा? अब आप अपना डिसीजन के बारे में क्या सोच रहे हैं कि आपने हामी भरी थी, अब कैसा लग रहा है?
हाँ जी, हमें गंगाराम से फोन आया था जिस दिन उनका डिस्चार्ज होना था. उन्होंने हमें बुलाया था उनसे मिलने के लिए. उस फैमिली ने भी इच्छा जताई थी हमारे से मिलने के लिए. तो उनसे मिल के और वो हैंड्स को लगा देख के और वापस थोड़ा सा वर्किंग देख के हमें भी बड़ी खुशी हुई. हमें लगा जैसे हमारी बुआ जी के हाथ हमारे साथ ही रहेंगे, उनका आशीर्वाद हमारे साथ ही रहेगा. उनकी आइज भी डोनेट की गई, उनके लीवर भी दिया, किडनी भी दी, सब लंग्स भी दिए. तो वो सब जो है ऑर्गन कहीं ना कहीं किसी न किसी की लाइफ में अब काम आ रहे हैं. किसी न किसी की जान बची है उससे. और इनको इन फैमिली से भी मिलके बड़ा अच्छा लगा. ये लोग भी कह रहे थे कि हमने कभी सपने में भी नहीं सोचा था, और ये लोग बड़े थैंकफुल थे. बाकी भगवान की जो इच्छा.
जी, दिव्या जी मुझे बताइए, ये काफ़ी टफ डिसीजन रहा होगा, मैं समझ सकती हूँ. हम सब यही बात कर रहे थे कि ऑर्गन डोनेशन में इंटरनल ऑर्गन्स देना आसान है एक तरह से, अगर पहले तो उसके भी नंबर्स बहुत कम होते हैं, लेकिन इंटरनल ऑर्गन्स देना आसान है क्योंकि आप उसको सूचर करके जब आप गुड बाय बोलते हैं किसी को तो आप एक फुल फॉर्म में देते हैं। यहाँ हमें बताया गया कि डॉक्टर्स ने उसे एक आर्टिफिशियल लिम्स लगा के दिए थे सो दैट जब आपने उनको गुड बाय बोला मीना जी को, तभी वो पूरे फुल फॉर्म में थी। तो आप बता सकती हैं उस समय क्या चल रहा था? फैमिली के लिए बहुत ही टफ डिसीजन रहा होगा।
हाँ जी, मैं भी यही कहना चाहूंगी कि जो काम वो बोलती थी, सबको इंस्पायर करती थी, आखिर उन्होंने एक एग्जाम्पल सेट कर दिया, वो करके दिखाया, और भगवान जी ने भी उनकी इच्छा पूरी करनी चाहिए कि वो सब ये सब डोनेट कर सकी। और थोड़ा सा मैं ये भी बोलना चाहूंगी, बहुत इमोशनल था हम लोगों के लिए, मेरे हस्बैंड के लिए बहुत ज्यादा इमोशनल था, क्योंकि इनकी सिस्टर नहीं है और वही उनको राखी बांधती थी। जब उनका ब्रेन डेड हुआ और जब हमसे हैंड्स के लिए बोला गया, तो इनको एक ही बात यही लग रही थी कि मेरे को अब राखी कौन बांधेगा। लेकिन जब उनको हैंड्स के लिए बोला गया तो हम सब ने यही बोला कि देखो उनके हैंड्स रहेंगे, आप अलाउ कर दो उनको। तो अब सच में आज 45-46 दिन के बाद उनके हैंड्स देख के यही लगा कि जो डिसीजन हमने लिया, हमारे लिए तो जो है सो है, लेकिन जिसको लगे हैं वो अपनी रोजी रोटी कमा पाएगा, इवन अपने आप से खा पी पाएगा, अपनी पर्सनल हाइजीन के लिए वो अपने हैंड्स यूज कर पाएगा, जिसके लिए वो किसी और के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट हो गया था। तो अब हमें ये अपना डिसीजन अच्छा लग रहा है कि हमने ये डिसीजन लिया उनके लिए, और वो ये ही चाहती थी। अब उनके जाने के बाद हम ये चाहते हैं कि ये ऑर्गन डोनेशन का जो प्रोसेस है, ये लोग इसको अच्छे से समझें और इसके लिए और आगे आए। हमारी पूरी फैमिली ने भी अब प्लेज ले लिया है कि हमने तो करना ही करना है, लेकिन हम ये सबको बोल रहे हैं कि इंस्पायर कर रहे हैं कि आप लोग भी करो, और ये आपके थ्रू ही होगा। हम 2, 4, 10 लोगों को बोल पाएंगे, आप नेशनल टेलीविजन पे ये सब करेंगे तो ये सब लोग इससे इंस्पायर होंगे।
जी बिल्कुल, हमारा भी यही मोटिव है, हम यही करना चाह रहे हैं। इनफैक्ट जो लोग हमें इस समय देख सकते हैं कैसे साइन अप करा जाता है ऑर्गन डोनेशन के लिए, उसके भी डिटेल्स हमारी स्क्रीन पर आ रहे हैं। जो भी anybody who's interested, please sort of take a recording of this, send it out to your family and friends. Just look at the joy on their faces and the satisfaction that they have of having done this. It's a different story altogether. So Divya ji और जावेद जी, बहुत बहुत congratulations आप लोगों को उनकी, और देखिए सोच तो उनकी थी पर उनकी विशेस फुलफिल करने के लिए बहुत बहुत करेज चाहिए होता है। तो congratulations आप लोगों ने जो किया उसके लिए।
सोनल, मैं एक बात और कहना चाहूंगी, एक उनका गाना था फेवरेट, वो हमेशा गाती थी, रहे ना रहे हम महका करेंगे, बन के कली बन के सवा बागे वफा में, और ये वो करके चली गई हैं। आज वो सच में पूरे इंडिया में कहा जहां से जिस पेशेंट को वो मिला होगा वो वहां पे महक ही रही हैं, सच में महक रही हैं वो।
What a beautiful answer that is, दिव्या जी। मुझे लग रहा है कि I'm sure मीना जी बहुत ही अमेजिंग इंसान थी, और आपने राइटली कहा ये गाना तो बहुत ही सिंबलाइज करता है उन्होंने अपनी लाइफ किस तरह से जी और किस तरह से एंड करी, वो भी। थैंक यू सो मच हमसे इतना बातचीत करने के लिए, अपनी स्टोरी हमारे साथ शेयर करने के लिए, और इतने लोगों को इंस्पायर करने के लिए। आप सही कह रही हैं कि वो नहीं है, लेकिन उनके थ्रू कितने लोग आज अपनी ज़िंदगी अच्छे से जी पा रहे हैं, तो ये बहुत बहुत ही उम्दा बात है। थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू। आप लोग भी इसके लिए प्रोग्राम बना रहे हैं और ऑर्गन डोनेट को आप प्रमोट कर रहे हैं, तो इस तरह यदि सारे मिलकर साथ देंगे तो उम्मीद है कि देश में थोड़ी तस्वीर बदलेगी और लोग इस काम के लिए और आगे आएंगे।
Indeed. Well, if that doesn't inspire you, I don't know what will. What an incredible human being, Meena Mehta. Let her story be a reminder to you this Monday morning on what beautiful things you can do even in your absence, even when you're not living the life you can give even afterwards. Beautiful, incredible Monday morning is made, but it's time to move on to the next story now. And this one is coming to us from Mumbai. Now, in Colaba area in South Bombay in Mumbai, there is an Afghan church which is set to reopen after a 14 crore facelift. It's a church which is 165 years old, and after the construction, after the restoration, that is, the doors are finally going to be opened. The community there is really excited, and of course, we got your glimpse of the story behind it, which is extremely fascinating.
Over 200 years ago, the British government gave permission to build a church on the piece of land on almost the southern tip of Mumbai, on the condition that the steeple of this church should be visible to all the ships coming into the Mumbai harbour. This church, the Afghan Church, has been built in memory of all those who lost their lives in the Afghan wars in the 19th century. 165 years after the completion of this Afghan church, today the church, which withered with time and which stands testimony to centuries of hard work, has been completely restored. Today let us take you on the tour of this restored Afghan church, which tells the history of the church, of the wars and of religion since 165 years.
A 210 feet tall bell tower, astounding 19th century stained glass windows, magnificent teak roof, a medieval Gothic masterpiece altar, 9 stone arches, the brass lectern standing tall since 1865. This neo-Gothic style church has been a landmark in the financial capital.
Everything around it has changed, but the church itself has remained the same. Everything, including the pews, the chairs, the furniture, everything is original, 160 years old. Nothing has changed, and it has been, and conservation has ensured that nothing has changed in the church.
Over the years, this church has withered with time. It wasn't just corrosion, but also vandalism that has caused damage. The moisture in a humid city like Mumbai is the enemy of stone structures. And when the restoration work began, teams realized that the dampness was wreaking havoc. An ingenious and sustainable solution was found.
Actually, there were a lot of rising dampness on the south side of the church. So to get arrested that, we have prepared a French drain everywhere along the plinth level. All the church wall boundary, there is a drain going on. Normally French drain is a kind of drain where you have a perforated pipe below the drain, and it is covered with all the pebbles and all the stones. So water gets collected there and then it is transferred to the soak pit with the pipes, perforated pipes. And because of that, the drain, the water doesn't go inside the plinth and it doesn't rise. So the rising dampness is almost controlled with that.
In the last 20 years, this iconic structure has been restored to its past glory. The Gothic revival technique was used for this.
The stained glass windows, which are spectacular, and the bells. The 8 bells that are there in the bell tower is just, they are absolutely magnificent sounding, and we hope we can do further work. And the roof, I shouldn't forget that. It's a spectacular teak roof.
The defining feature of this church is the beautiful stained glass work done in Europe from 1850s to 1890s. That's why when you see it, you feel like you're transported to an old European city.
Stained glass is very integral to any chapel, church or a cathedral. Afghan Church also is one such, where stained glass became a very, very intrinsic part of the structure that you see here. The stained glass windows were commissioned during the inception of the church, at the planning stage. The church has subscribed to the definition of a cathedral, where you see stained glass in every corner. So these are walls of glass, they are structural, and therefore they have a lot of meaning for the people who come here.
These windows reflect a cinematic portrayal of the Bible. The beauty of this church is such that even today, many want to come and get married here. In fact, it is also known as the Bride's Church, as traditionally the British soldiers would get married here.
It was actually called a poor man's Bible. It's not really true. It's any man's place of, any person's place of solace.
Constructed over 165 years ago, the Afghan Church continues to be a landmark even today. Now, after the restoration work is completed, the church is expected to be thrown open to the public sometime in the month of March 2024. With video journalist Vasant Kerekar, this is Vinaya Deshpande from Mumbai.
Reviving history, reviving heritage, just one of the beautiful things that we want to focus here on TVC. On that note, we're going to take a break. But on the other side, Oscars are going on. Most of the main awardees are already out. We'll give you a full list on the other side. Stay tuned for that.
Congress kept on going out from Jairam Ramesh and other Congress leaders. In fact, so much so, Rahul Gandhi refrained from attacking the state government. Whatever attack was taking place was coming in from Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, the Behrampur MP, and that is because he has a reason. The more he attacks Mamata Banerjee, the more it helps him in his constituency. But he was also pulled up by the Congress leadership because remember, he had called Derek O'Brien a foreigner and then he was asked to apologize, which he did. Even when the Sondesh Khali incident broke out, while Adhir kept on attacking and questioning the state government, the central leaders were told, please don't do it because we don't want to upset Mamata Banerjee. But when at the brigade ground rally, Mamata Banerjee flaunted all the 42 names, it was very clear then to the Congress that it's completely over. Jairam Ramesh, of course, expressed concern, saying we were hoping against hope, but Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, as usual, did not mince his words. He said it is very clear that while they were fighting the BJP at the state level, at the center, the TMC and the BJP are friends, and it's very clear that Mamata Banerjee is a B team of the BJP and completely working against India front. But Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary's future also lies in a lot of suspense and apprehension. He's been a member of parliament from Behrampur for over 4 times. But this time round, he faces a strong anti-incumbency and a tough competition for the TMC's candidate, former cricketer Yusuf Pathan. Now, Yusuf Pathan may be an outsider, but you know, in Bengalis love their cricket, they love their sports. This is a factor which could work in his favor. Second, Behrampur has over 52% minority population. That is a population which has always voted for Adhir, which is one reason why he has been attacking Mamata Banerjee not to cede space to her. Now there's going to be competition from Yusuf Pathan. Also, for all you know, the people over there may be looking for change. Now, in case the Congress loses Behrampur, it will be almost a wipeout for the state. But you know, she's put up strong candidates in every seat, sends out a strong messaging. But at a time when the BJP seems to be gaining allies, making new friends, the Congress party losing out on the TMC is a huge blow to the India front. It's very clear that on 17th, when that mega rally of the India front is planned in Mumbai, the Trinamool Congress is likely to be conspicuous by its absence. Mamata Banerjee actually believes that the front could be a liability. While she wants to fight the BJP, she wants to do it at her own level. She clearly wants to make it a fight between the TMC and the BJP. Huge loss of face for Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, for the Congress party, but more importantly, it's almost khala shesh as far as the India front is concerned, just up ahead of the electoral schedule, which is expected to be announced soon. With Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool Congress announcing the 42 candidates for Lok Sabha from Bengal, is the end of the India Front alliance, at least between the TMC and the Congress. All along, the Congress party had been hoping against hope, and that was one reason why it had decided that it's not going to be attacking Mamata Banerjee. But I think they got the cue when the Bharat Joro Nyaya Yatra entered the Bengal leg, and it was the same day when Mamata Banerjee announced that she's going to fight it alone. But there several appeals kept on going out from Jairam Ramesh and other Congress leaders. In fact, so much so, Rahul Gandhi refrained from attacking the state government. Whatever attack was taking place was coming in from Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, the Behrampur MP, and that is because he has a reason. The more he attacks Mamata Banerjee, the more it helps him in his constituency. But he was also pulled up by the Congress leadership, because remember, he had called Derek O'Brien a foreigner, and then he was asked to apologize, which he did. Even when the Sondesh Khali incident broke out, while Adhir kept on attacking and questioning the state government, the central leaders were told, please don't do it because we don't want to upset Mamata Banerjee. But when at the brigade ground rally, Mamata Banerjee flaunted all the 42 names, it was very clear then to the Congress that it's completely over. Jairam Ramesh, of course, expressed concern, saying we were hoping against hope, but Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, as usual, did not mince his words. He said it is very clear that while they were fighting the BJP at the state level, at the center, the TMC and the BJP are friends, and it's very clear that Mamata Banerjee is a B team of the BJP and completely working against India front. But Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary's future also lies in a lot of suspense and apprehension. He's been a member of parliament from Behrampur for over 4 times. But this time round, he faces a strong anti-incumbency and a tough competition for the TMC's candidate, former...
Welcome back, and let's talk about the Oscars now. The 96th Academy Awards, Oscars as we popularly know them, just got concluded minutes ago in Los Angeles, bringing together some of the biggest filmmakers in Hollywood and across the globe. Now, the big surprises there weren't really. Oppenheimer won a lot of awards as expected, but I will not have the list. I was obviously talking to you, so I did not get to see the Oscars, but Vishal was tracking it. So Vishal, hello and welcome to the program. Please take us through the big list. Who are the big winners this year, and were there some surprises as well? And mostly what people want to know is what happened to Barbie. So much chat across the globe. The color pink now has a new meaning. I'm wearing it also today. Even in India, people have now become such big consumers of these movies. But big surprise there for Barbie, or not so much?
Not for Barbie, but the two big surprises. The first, Oppenheimer and Poor Things emerged as the biggest winner of the night, scoring 7 and 4 wins each. Oppenheimer bagged, as was expected, the maximum awards, although 7 out of the 13 nominations. It bagged Best Picture, Best Director for Christopher Nolan, Best Actor for Cillian Murphy, Best Supporting Actor for Robert Downey Jr., and the craft awards like the Best Sound, Best Original Score, and Cinematography and Best Editing. Poor Things, on the other hand, was actually bagged 4 awards. 3 are the Craft Award, Best Production Design, which a lot of people were expecting will go to Barbie, Best Costume, and Best Makeup and Hairstyling. That was, a lot of people were expecting that will go to Maestro. And Emma Stone bagged her second Oscar. She got Best Actress Award. So that's the big surprise. A lot of people were expecting that it's going to go to Lily Gladstone for her role in Killers of the Flower of the Moon. So that's the big, these are the big winners. And talking about the snubs, it's been always clear from the right for the time when the award season began that Barbie was only not winning any major in any of the major categories. Even the SAG award, it was Emma Stone and Lily Gladstone which got acting honors. And talking about the Barbie and Greta Gerwig snub, remember that only in the Best Picture category, only 10 films get nominated, and in the Best Director category, there's only 5 directors that gets nominated, and out of those 5, there's only in the director category, directors nominate directors, and this is a category historically has not been easy for women. So that snub was there for the director and for the actress Margot Robbie. If you see the other nominees in the best acting category for the best actress, it's not, Margot Robbie did not give that big scene stealer performance as like in Emma Stone.
Right. Yeah, but Vishal, my Twitter feed is flooded with what John Cena did. And his representation during the Oscar. He apparently came there almost naked. Like, we're not going to put out those pictures, but talk to us a little bit about what happened.
So I'm sorry, because when we were doing live, our TV was on mute, so I only can watch visuals, and I couldn't hear a single word what he was talking about. Although I know it was much talked about. I'm sorry, I don't have an update about that, because when we were doing live, our TV were on mute, so I couldn't hear what he was saying on the stage. But yeah, he did appear naked, yeah, with a pillow.
No. Sure. So I'm really just watching. I'm also watching it on mute at the moment. We better check up what this is and educate and let our viewers also know about it. But Vishal, I want to leave with this. Oscar's significance for India is what today? Unless some of our movies are nominated, starting with Lagan when the entire phase started, to RRR, to all these things, right? We really look forward to, and India is a very educated consumer of movies now, right? All of us are very demanding on what we want to watch, how we want to watch it. So why people watch Oscars now is really to understand which are the movies which have bagged the awards. It should be great cinema. Let's go watch. So do you have any recommendations for people like us who are wondering what are these movies like Poor Things, even the one we were talking about earlier that seems to have done very well, which is the Zone of Interest. Do you have recommendations?
Well, I haven't watched Zone of Interest, which I actually wanted to, but the other movies are streaming on the streaming platform. Like on Apple TV Plus, you can watch Poor Things, you can watch Oppenheimer there, you can watch Killers of the Flower of the Moon on Apple TV. And then there's a lot of films on Netflix which are nominated at this year's Oscars, and also on Amazon Prime. So these are the recommendations. But I think if somebody has to watch Oppenheimer, they can go and watch it on Apple TV Plus. So is Killers of the Flower of the Moon. That's my favorite film. I love Martin Scorsese. I'm very sad he hasn't won, but nevertheless, it was a Nolan day. It was Christopher Nolan who bagged Best Director.
Right. All right, Vishal, we'll let you go find out what happened with John Cena, what happened to the other recommendations there, and catch up again later. Thanks so much for joining us here on TVC.
Happy Oscar. I hope I have to watch the full ceremony now again. But thank you.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, talking about movies over there and talking about Hollywood, let's shift tracks and sort of move to Bollywood now. And joining us next is an actor from our very own Bollywood industry, Bomi Pednekar. She's not just an actor, was formerly somebody who was hunting down and was a casting director, but now a UNDP National Advocate for Sustainable Development Goals as well. Hi, Bomi. Thanks so much for talking to us here on TBC. I have to say this, for the past 5 years, anybody who's watched your journey, I have to say there seems to be a massive pivot. Something Bomi Pednekar is doing right. She's everywhere. She's winning awards. She's got some great scripts. So what exactly is going on in your life right now?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much for such a lovely introduction. And I really hope that the last few years have been this impactful that you've started to enjoy whatever I'm doing. I'm glad.
Yes, absolutely. You've done some two fascinating movies that I want to talk about. One is Thank You for Coming, which the movie did not do very well commercially, but was much talked about for its approach, for its script, for how it spoke about women. You're also now part of UNDP engaging with them on different platforms. Is there a certain sense we can say that Bomi Pednekar is choosing a particular kind of scripts? Is that what is happening?
No, it hasn't. Honestly, when the script came my way, I did know it's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable, but I didn't realize the degree of how uncomfortable people are going to get. When you think of female desire, female sexuality, maybe in my world, it's not as much as a stigma as it is in the outside. And that's why it was so important for us to make this film. But I feel like it pushed a larger section of our society into a corner where they had to question themselves and make space for such healthy conversation to exist. And that's not going to be an easy change. Yeah, so it's a journey. But one thing that I kind of learned from Thank You for Coming is that I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop making cinema like so, or asking the right questions through my art, because I feel like this is such a powerful medium. You know, if it's made people uncomfortable, it's gotten them to think, and eventually there will be, some change that we see.
That's nicely said. Which brings me to the second movie I want to talk to you about, which is actually based on journalism. It talks about, and for viewers who don't know, it's actually based on independent journalists. Again, I have to ask you, through the course of your research and getting into character and mood, are you now with better respect for journalists? Are you always on time now, and always sort of have come out with a new form of respect and understanding of what journalism actually means?
Oh my God. I think one thing that I'm an extremely punctual person. Just so for everybody who's seeing me today, I'm an extremely punctual person. But I feel what I realized is that journalism is a profession that needs a lot of integrity. The way Bhakshak introduced me to the world of journalism that I didn't know existed. Your independent journalists that actually are the backbone of the system, that are the ones that actually go crack things firsthand. They aren't really backed by any big corporate or any buildings or power. It's just them, their passion for what they do, their voice, and their need to put the right version of the truth out. And they're completely driven by that. And I realized that if, as an individual, you lack integrity, you aren't really servicing the profession to its full potential. So there was a lot of learning for me in Bhakshak. Obviously, there's so much love that the film has received, more so because of what the film stands for. Just as a woman, as a citizen of this country, to know that something like this has happened and is still happening, because this wasn't a one-off event. There are many so like that have happened, and because when I was researching for the film, I spent sleepless nights because there was research material that I had, but my research material was somebody else's truth, a little child's truth. Many little children, their truth, and it takes a lot to be able to live with that information. But I'm just fortunate that Bhaksha came my way, because it's my little contribution to a larger problem. And I really hope that the conversation doesn't end with our audience watching the film. I just feel like, there has to be compassion and empathy that we kind of need to tap into again. I feel like we as individuals have been so devoid of it, because it's just about us and our pains. We've forgotten how to feel for others. And I really hope Bhaksha kind of changes that.
That's nicely said. So, that's actually true, and I think as long as what you do can start a conversation, I've always believed that even stories that journalists cover, as long as you can start a conversation, I think that's a great start. As long as you can change one mindset, I think that's also enough contribution. But you are on the Breakfast Club, Bomi, so you have to share with us your morning mantra. Your fitness regime actually calls for a separate episode altogether. I want to really understand how you've transformed to being this extremely fit person and looking gorgeous, absolutely, in various outfits that we've seen you in. But tell us, what exactly does Bomi Pednekar wake up to? How do you get into your mojo right in the morning?
Like the only thing that I constantly keep telling myself is that I deserve miracles to happen, and they will happen. It just helps me keep focused. So I think just like positive affirmations go a long way. I'm a very spiritual person. I also pray every day in the morning. That's just like my way of kind of connecting with myself. I'm loved. I have a lot of love to give. I'm a provider. I'm a caregiver, and I'm going to get all of that back. And there's nothing that's going to stop me.
Hey, that's a nice way to start your day. Just give out to the universe what you really want and say those words. I think that's a great tip this Monday morning. Thanks so much, Bomi, for joining us on TVC.
Thank you so much.
All right. On that note, we've come towards the end of the program, but not before we give you what's happening this day today, this Monday morning in India and across the world. Here are the wraps.
In Saudi Arabia on Sunday, marking the beginning of Ramadan month. Now, Ramadan is a holy month of fasting that marks the 9th month of the Islamic calendar and is observed by Muslims all over the world. Saudi Arabia's moon sighting committee determines the day when the holy month shall begin. The Supreme Court will today hear the applications filed by the State Bank of India seeking an extension till June 30th to disclose details of each electoral bond encashed by political parties before the scheme was scrapped last month. A 5-judge constitution bench headed by Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud will also hear a separate plea which has sought initiation of contempt action against the SBI. The plea tells that SBI willfully and deliberately disobeyed the Supreme Court's direction to submit details of the contributions made to political parties through electoral bonds to the Election Commission by March 6th. Voters in Ireland rejected 2 proposed changes to the country's constitution that would have removed language about women's duties being in the home and broadened the definition of family beyond marriage. After a series of referendums in recent years had reshaped Ireland's constitution in ways that reflect the country's more secular and liberal modern identity. The result came as a surprise to some, including the government. In a harrowing revelation in his upcoming memoir, Earl Spencer, the younger brother of Diana, Princess of Wales, has disclosed that he was sexually abused as a child during his time at boarding school. He shared an excerpt from his memoir in the Mail on Sunday, where he recounted being preyed upon by a female staff member at Maidwell Hall during the 1970s. Banksy, the ever-elusive artist well known for his hidden identity, may forced to reveal his name in new lawsuit over Monkey Queen print authentication. 2 art collectors, Nicky Katz and Ray Housey, are taking legal action against Banksy's company, Pest Control, alleging breach of contract over the refusal to confirm the artwork's authenticity. The print, which features a Queen Elizabeth lookalike as a monkey with a crown and jewels, only has 150 authentic prints. Indonesia's aviation authority said it would review how the country's airlines operate night flights after both pilots on a Batik Air flight carrying 153 passengers fell asleep, causing the plane to briefly veer off course. Now, the plane carrying 153 passengers and 4 crew members had left Kendari, the southeast island of Sulawesi, and was headed to Jakarta, a 2-hour and 35-minute flight. Indians are set to start paying less for world-famous Swiss watches and chocolates thanks to the duty concession offered by New Delhi as a part of the Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement struck with the 4-nation European Free Trade Association on March 10th. As a part of the deal, India will reduce basic custom duties on chocolates and wrist as well as pocket watches originating from Switzerland. The royal family dropped a new photo of Kate Middleton and her 3 kids to celebrate Mother's Day. Despite the fact that the photo was taken by Prince William, fans read all the way into Kate's missing ring. While the Kensington Palace has maintained its silence over the matter, conspiracy theorists have started mulling over several probabilities behind this. Remember, Kate had been away from the public eye for a considerable amount of time due to a surgery she underwent.
The mystery behind that picture is really amazing. Did you know that Associated Press actually withdrew that picture saying that it's doctored? So really nobody knows what's happening with that picture, and everybody from BBC to the biggest associations or the organizations in the world are now saying that there's something wrong with that picture, but nobody quite knows what that is. So that's a story we'll be chasing. For more such details, you have to log on to The Breakfast Club and also log on to the YouTube channel of CNN News 18, where you can find all these news stories in detail. For now, it's bye from the team. See you again tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Have a good day.
Brought to you by Yusuf Pathan. Now, Yusuf Pathan may be an outsider, but you know, in Bengalis love their cricket, they love their sports. This is a factor which could work in his favor. Second, Behrampur has over 52% minority population. That is the population which has always voted for Adhir, which is one reason why he has been attacking Mamata Banerjee not to cede space to her. Now there's going to be competition from Yusuf Pathan. Also, for all you know, the people over there may be looking for change. Now, in case the Congress loses Behrampur, it will be almost a wipeout for the state. But you know, she's put up strong candidates in every seat, sends out a strong messaging. But at a time when the BJP seems to be gaining allies, making new friends, the Congress party losing out on the TMC is a huge blow to the India front. It's very clear that on 17th, when that mega rally of the India Front is planned in Mumbai, the Trinamool Congress is likely to be conspicuous by its absence. Mamata Banerjee actually believes that the front could be a liability. While she wants to fight the BJP, she wants to do it at her own level. She clearly wants to make it a fight between the TMC and the BJP. Huge loss of face for Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, for the Congress party, but more importantly, it's almost khala shesh as far as the India front is concerned, just up ahead of the electoral schedule, which is expected to be announced soon. With Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool Congress announcing the 42 candidates for Lok Sabha from Bengal, is the end of the India Front alliance, at least between the TMC and the Congress. All along, the Congress party had been hoping against hope, and that was one reason why it had decided that it's not going to be attacking Mamata Banerjee. But I think they got the cue when the Bharat Joro Nyaya Yatra entered the Bengal leg, and it was the same day when Mamata Banerjee announced that she's going to fight it alone. But there several appeals kept on going out from Jairam Ramesh and other Congress leaders. In fact, so much so, Rahul Gandhi refrained from attacking the state government. Whatever attack was taking place was coming in from Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, the Behrampur MP, and that is because he has a reason. The more he attacks Mamata Banerjee, the more it helps him in his constituency. But he was also pulled up by the Congress leadership, because remember, he had called Derek O'Brien a foreigner, and then he was asked to apologize, which he did. Even when the Sandesh Khali incident broke out, while Adhir kept on attacking and questioning the state government, the central leaders were told, please don't do it because we don't want to upset Mamata Banerjee. But when at the brigade ground rally, Mamata Banerjee flaunted all the 42 names, it was very clear then to the Congress that it's completely over. Jairam Ramesh, of course, expressed concern, saying we were hoping against hope, but Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, as usual, did not mince his words. He said it is very clear that while they were fighting the BJP at the state level, at the center, the TMC and the BJP are friends, and it's very clear that Mamata Banerjee is a B team of the BJP and completely working against India front. But Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary's future also lies in a lot of suspense and apprehension. He's been a member of parliament from Behrampur for over 4 times. But this time round, he faces a strong anti-incumbency and a tough competition for the TMC's candidate, former cricketer Yusuf Pathan. Now, Yusuf Pathan may be an outsider, but you know, in Bengalis love their cricket, they love their sports. This is a factor which could work in his favor. Second, Behrampur has over 52% minority population. That is the population which has always voted for Adhir, which is one reason why he has been attacking Mamata Banerjee not to cede space to her. Now there's going to be competition from Yusuf Pathan. Also, for all you know, the people over there may be looking for change. Now, in case the Congress loses Behrampur, it will be almost a wipeout for the state. But you know, she's put up strong candidates in every seat, sends out a strong messaging. But at a time when the BJP seems to be gaining allies, making new friends, the Congress party losing out on the TMC is a huge blow to the India front. It's very clear that on 17th, when that mega rally of the India Front is planned in Mumbai, the Trinamool Congress is likely to be conspicuous by its absence. Mamata Banerjee actually believes that the front could be a liability. While she wants to fight the BJP, she wants to do it at her own level. She clearly wants to make it a fight between the TMC and the BJP. Huge loss of face for Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, for the Congress party, but more importantly, it's almost khala shesh as far as the India front is concerned, just up ahead of the electoral schedule, which is expected to be announced soon. With Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool Congress announcing the 42 candidates for Lok Sabha from Bengal, is the end of the India Front alliance, at least between the TMC and the Congress. All along, the Congress party had been hoping against hope, and that was one reason why it had decided that it's not going to be attacking Mamata Banerjee. But I think they got the cue when the Bharat Joro Nyaya Yatra entered the Bengal leg, and it was the same day when Mamata Banerjee announced.
Hello and a very good morning to all our viewers out there. You're now watching the Morning News Show on CNN News 18 and I'm Sriya Kundu here with all the latest updates of the hour and the top story of the day. Well, from across the nation and around the world, which we'll take you through in the next 60 minutes. And well, we begin the bulletin with one of our top focuses for the day, which is the TMC's first list of candidates. Now, ahead of the Lok Sabha polls, TMC has announced its list of candidates, fielding 42 candidates in total yesterday. Now, among the big names that were included in the list, they have Moha Moitro from Krishnanagar, Shayoni Ghosh from Jadavpur, Gopal Lama from Darjeeling, Abhishek Banerjee from Diamond Harbour, actor Shatrughan Sinha from Asansol, and former Indian cricketer Yusuf Pathan from Berhampur. Politics soon erupted over TMC's list, and West Bengal Congress chief Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary slammed TMC's decision, saying that the party is only helping BJP win. On the other hand, BJP has questioned TMC's decision of giving tickets to non-Bengalis and said that TMC was anti-Bengal. Let's listen into some of the reactions that's come in so far into the story.
यूसुफ पठान के बारे में ममता बनर्जी की अगर कोई अच्छा सोच होती तो कम से कम गुजरात में गठबंधन से एक सीट की मांग कर लेती कि मेरा एक ही उम्मीदवार खड़ा होगी गुजरात से, उनके नाम है यूसुफ पठान। लेकिन यहां उनको इसलिए भेजा गया कि आम लोगों में ध्रुवीकरण हो, बीजेपी को मदद मिले और कांग्रेस पार्टी हारे।
You know, the Indian National Congress has always maintained that it wants a respectable seat-sharing formula with the TMC in West Bengal. A respectable seat-sharing formula means mutual negotiations, give and take, some compromise. But there should be no unilateral announcement of the seats. We should do it collectively.
Today, yet another jhatka, yet another kalesh in the Indi Gathbandhan. Today, Mamata Banerjee has unilaterally declared the seats. Congress party is looking idhar and udhar. Wherever Rahul Gandhi's kadam takes place, there the Indi alliances break.